Welcome to ASNT 2024. I'm Haley Cowans.
And I'm Garra Liming. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already ASNT 2024. It feels like we were just in Houston.
It was.
So the theme of this year's conference is Engage, which reflects our commitment to fostering meaningful interactions, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of non-destructive testing. So, Garra, I know there's a ton of ways that we're going to see the theme of Engage come up throughout this show.
Yes, there's so many great sessions. There's competitions. There's exhibit hall with over 220 exhibitors to engage with.
Yeah.
I mean, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah. So in addition to ASNT 2024, obviously, if you were not able to join us here in Las Vegas, Nevada this year, there are plenty of ways that you can still engage with ASNT, including our fancy brand new website.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, so we've just recently unveiled our new website. It has a new user-centric experience as well as a responsive design, so it's going to look great both on your laptop and on your phone, which is exciting.
And it also really explains what NDT is and how the career development of NDT, how you can get involved. A new advocacy page, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, there are really great resources on that page to help you engage and get involved with our advocacy work here at ASNT. There are, of course, also complimentary websites for ASNT certification services and the ASNT Foundation, which we'll be hearing about a lot this week. That's another great way people have to engage with ASNT at this event is the foundation, where I'm wearing my foundation pin today. So we have all kinds of great things happening to help support that really important research that the foundation is doing.
Yeah, so please be sure to go visit asnt.org and check out all the great stuff on the website.
Yeah. We also have ASNT Connect, which is our new communities platform. And so it's really exciting because the communities are actually having meetups here at ASNT 2024. So people who have been having conversations on these forums are able to meet each other face to face here. But again, if you're not able to join us, hop on those forums and get to know people that way. It's a great place to connect with fellow NDT professionals.
And engage.
Yeah. And of course, another great way to engage with ASNT is by volunteering. And so we obviously have a ton of volunteers here. This conference could not happen without their hard work.
Absolutely.
And so for those of you at home, if you're interested in becoming an ASNT volunteer, check out our volunteer portal on asnt.org. And that's how you can find out about new opportunities that are happening for people of really any level of experience. You know, if you're out there and you are an NDT professional, you have something to contribute, and you can definitely make a huge impact on the work that we're doing here at ASNT.
Hello. We have Tamara Robertson here with us. She is our keynote speaker. Welcome, Tamara.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about your background and your unique STEM career?
Yeah, so I am a chemical and biomolecular engineer, licensed, OSHA certified, all the fun stuff, you know. I spent a decade doing that in corporate America, came out as a global executive reporting into a CEO, launching global divisions, and kind of hit this point in my career where I was like, okay, I'm here. I looked back and was like, who can I lift and inspire and engage with next? And found that there weren't any women in my workforce for 5 tiers of management. So it was at that time that I took a beat and I kind of looked at what was going on in the world with regards to our STEM pipeline and started realizing that with regards to losing women in the workforce, it wasn't just one age point or one grade point. So we really have a leaky system going on. And so in 2015, I came out of corporate America, went into full-time outreach, getting into classrooms, talking to as many people as I could about the trades, about STEM careers, just trying to show them that if they put a tool in their hand, they can build the future they want. And during that time, that's when the Mythbusters franchise found me, asked me to come and compete to be a new host, and I was the only female finalist, only 2 MVP winner, and the rest has been history, and has enabled me to be in classrooms and on stages all over the world talking about the value of careers in the trades and STEM.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's so important to get people, especially young people, excited about STEM?
I think it's one of those things that you only know what you know and you don't know what you don't know. You know, I grew up in a no stoplight town to 2 military parents. No one was talking about STEM at all, right? No one was talking about the trades. Like, I knew I tinkered with my dad in the garage every weekend, but I thought it was just something we got to do for fun. I never knew I could have a career in it. And so getting the opportunity to talk to kids and expose them to these career paths that they may not otherwise see. You know, we don't see a lot of it on television, and nowadays it's mostly going to be the internet and social media. So they're definitely not seeing people that are doing what we're doing on those platforms, at least not as many as we'd hoped. So we just got to help get that buzz out there, because the truth of the matter is that by age 7, kids are deciding whether or not STEM is for them. And we, as corporate America, we don't tend to talk to kids that young. And so if we want to build the pipeline of skilled people that we are going to need to succeed as a nation or as companies and have that ROI that we want, talking to the kids is where it starts. Ignite that passion, get them engaged young, and keep them along the pathway.
I've had the pleasure. I went to a school my friend worked at, and it was grades kindergarten through 5th. And so I showed them non-destructive testing, and then they all wrote me letters, and they were the cutest things, like showing me, like, thanks for showing me about non-destructive testing and how you make roller coasters safe. So they really do absorb what you say.
And good on you for connecting it to something exciting and thrilling already. That's why I do superhero science, because kids start to listen when you talk about the Hulk. So talking about roller coasters, you probably got them right away.
I did. They were very excited about it.
Yeah. So what are you hoping people will take away from your keynote?
I'm really hoping that people that come to the keynote, they get kind of a path forward. A lot of us want to do something, but we don't always know what we can do. We don't know what to ask management for, or companies for. We don't know what to ask schools for. And so I know I found myself in that same place when I was in engineering. I was like, I want to help, but how? And so I'm going to give some actionable items that really help them to see, what can those next steps be? And then also, it's the opening keynote, so I'm hoping to get them engaged not only with my talk, but also with each other. So whether they like it or not, they're going to have to play the extrovert a little bit tomorrow and engage with one another too. So I'm hoping they start to learn the joy of storytelling meeting the trades.
Yeah. Well, that fits in perfectly with the theme of our conference this year. So that works out perfectly.
Engage.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm so excited for the keynote.
Yes, me too. We look forward to it.
Me too. I'm
Thank
excited
you,
to
Tamara.
meet the audience.
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you're ready to step up your engagement with ASNT, a great way to do that is by serving on the board of directors. So I'm joined here by Danny Keck. Danny, can you tell us a little bit about your role?
So I'm the immediate past chairman of the board. I served as board chairman last year, and the year before that, president. And I've been on the board of directors, 9 years, not 9 years in a row, but over the last 20, I've spent 9 years as a volunteer on the board of directors and enjoyed every minute of it. So.
And can you tell us a little bit about your role and who you are?
Yeah, I'm Shana Telesz. I've been on the board of directors about 3 years.
So you serve on the Leadership Development Committee, so that's...
I do. I'm chairman of the Leadership Development Committee this year, anyway.
How are candidates for the board of directors selected?
So ASNT is member-driven. So without volunteers, we don't run. We don't hire, or we don't have salaried board of directors. It's all volunteer directors. Once a year, the election's held. The Leadership Development Committee actually interviews people and then presents them to the board of directors as a recommendation, and then the membership vote on what 3 or 4 of those candidates should be placed on the board.
You are a recent candidate and have been on the board for a couple of years now, I think. So can you share your perspective from being a candidate, and what made you decide to run?
Yeah, so, it was interesting, as Jenny mentioned, sort of from the Leadership Development Committee. I also sit on this committee. We think about what are some of the gaps in the organization, what are we sort of trying to fill at the moment, who's coming off the board, who's coming on, what do we need to look at. And, my personal experience was actually being approached by, some of the leadership of ASNT and saying, hey, we think you have a skill set that matches. Would you consider applying? So you go through the application process, and then, as Danny said, if needed, kind of there's some interviews, and then it goes out to the membership for vote. So, but there's lots of people to help you throughout the process and help you kind of fill in and, really ask you some good questions about, what's your motivation for wanting to be on the board? Why do you want to be here? Do you want to give back? Do you have any experience in the international level? There's some different criteria that we sort of look for.
Yeah. So what advice would both of you give to people applying to be on the board? What would make a candidate really stand out?
I think one of the things I look for, so, we've been very fortunate the last couple of years that we've gotten a lot of candidates apply, which has been amazing. So really, the initial screening is really how well you filled out those questions and how well you answered them. So really, I would say spend the time, answer the questions thoroughly, why you want to be here, what skills you think you bring to the table. So really spend the time to fill out your application appropriately.
Oh, absolutely.
That is completely the initial screening aspect.
Couldn't agree
of it.
more.
And not everybody on the leadership development committee knows everyone. So really spend the time and put through the effort and really explain why you want to be there. And I would say to be authentic too. Be really authentic and like why you want to be here. Again, it's to serve the membership society, not to serve your company or represent your company. So really be authentic about why you want to be a
Right.
member.
And in the past there was a lot on the board of directors that were technical level 3s, but not really business oriented, if you would. And the board of directors of ASNT has made some significant changes to where we actually are more board oriented and not so much technically oriented. And I think that's helped quite a lot drive ASNT to a higher standard that we're at now.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. So a great way to engage with ASNT is by joining the RISE Leadership Development Program, especially for people who are early on in their career and want to get started getting involved. So I'm joined by Josh Spychalla. He was in the RISE program with me this last cohort, so he's graduating here at ASNT 2024.
And so are you, Haley.
And so am I. So thank you so much for joining us, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So what was the most rewarding part about the RISE program for you?
It's a great question, and it's really tough to answer because I think there's a lot of really beneficial things in the RISE program. The networking opportunities are definitely one of the top benefits, but there's also the leadership training that you get. I actually had the opportunity to present on the RISE program to my local chapter, and I explained to them that you're essentially getting an industry-leading course in leadership while you're attending the RISE program.
What would you tell someone interested in the RISE program? Why should they do it?
Because of the opportunities. There's a quote that I actually included with my presentation, which is, an opportunity seized tends to multiply. And that has been my experience. I volunteered or I applied for it because I thought it had one benefit, and it's just paid off dividends in multiple areas.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to your capstone presentation.
Yep. Thank you,
Thanks,
Josh.
Haley.
And now we have Toni Kervina with us. She is our Director of Content. Welcome, Toni.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to be hearing a little bit about a new AI assistant. And so can you tell us a little bit about this new AI assistant that we're debuting here at ASNT 2024?
Yes, so we are debuting our mystery AI assistant tomorrow during the opening session, so be sure to attend.
Exciting stuff.
Yes, it's a really interesting tool. I mean, we know that AI is everywhere. Generative AI is everywhere. You can't get away from it, and we thought, ChatGPT, we're all using it, but what can ASNT do better? Our content. We know that our content is really strong and people come to us as a trusted source of information. So we thought, how about creating our own closed language learning model with our body of knowledge, and that was kind of the basis for our AI assistant.
Yeah.
His name I really want to say, but can't.
Not yet.
Here soon.
And how will this AI assistant tool help people in the NDT field?
Oh, it has so many uses. It's really just, where is the creativity going to take somebody, right? So you can ask it to create a course for you. You can ask it as a study tool. The sky's the limit, really. It'll have information about industry trends and forecasting and what to look for on the horizon in the NDT industry, where to take your next career step. So yeah, if you can think it, the assistant can do it.
That's amazing. And so the word of the conference is engage. How can people engage with this assistant once it's available?
Yeah, well, like I said, the technology is everywhere. AI is everywhere. So really engaging with technology is super important, and we really want our members to engage specifically with this assistant as it's in our beta trial period, and we're using that feedback that we get from our members and volunteers to help train the model even more. So it gets smarter, we get our answers, and it continues to learn and be refined in that way. So it's very important to get that feedback, and we hope that everybody has a chance to go on there, try it out, and see for themselves.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're all very excited to be able to unveil this new friend for everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Toni.
Thank you so much.